Hello and welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, a scaling strategist here to help you grow your heart centered business to seven figures without burning out your body or selling out your values. I am here today with your Aquarius season reading for entrepreneurs. If you see me looking place to place, if you're watching the video version of this, it's because I am live two places at once. I just learned something very interesting. Maybe it's only interesting to me, but apparently you can now only go live on an Instagram account if you already have 1,000 followers. I don't think that used to be true. So I wanted to start doing these live readings on the new podcast Instagram, the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast account. It's just Inner Game of Entrepreneurship. No, the. If you don't follow it, please go follow it because I went there this morning to go live and found that I can't go live there yet because I don't have enough followers. So we are live on the Intuitive Edge Coaching account. I will share the video to the podcast account. But maybe that's only exciting news to me. But please go follow Inner Game of Entrepreneurship on Instagram so that we can move these live readings over to their appropriate channel. It would help me out a lot. If you are new to these readings, I do them on usually the first day of a new astrological season. Today is the second day of Aquarius season. I did do the reading yesterday, but these actually take me a lot of time. I pray over the cards. I tap into the collective energy. I spend a lot of time working with the cards and shuffling, and all the cards come out. And then I take notes because I don't want to go off on too many tangents while I'm doing these readings. I spend a little time interpreting what I believe the full story of the cards means altogether, which I can only do once I have all 6 of the cards in the spread. So it does take me about an hour to prepare to go live to share the reading with you. And I just ran out of time yesterday. So the reading was done on the first day of Aquarius season, and I'm here to bring it to you today. We do the same 6 questions in the same order every single time. Today's reading is very interesting to me, y'all, because frequently my readings apply to a really broad cross section of people. This reading is for like a very specific situation. I don't think this reading even applies to me. So, if it applies, let it fly. And if it doesn't, then sorry, this one is not for you. Maybe it's for someone you know and you need to send it to them. This is just, I went through these cards over and over. I tried to look at all the different ways that this story could be told. And no matter how I slice it, this is a very particular story. So I'm going to tell you right now who this is for. And if it's not for you, you could skip it or send it to a friend. This reading is for you if you currently work with a group, like you work as part of a collective or a collaborative, you have a business partner or business partnership, or you have a day job and you're considering leaving your day job. It could potentially also be if you are in a romantic relationship that you suspect is slowing down your career growth. So those are the people this reading is for. It's a really particular story about like it's time to leave a group, a partnership, or a relationship. So if you are in none of those situations, you don't have a day job and you're not looking to leave your day job, you are not currently working with a collective of any kind where you are not the boss, you are not looking to potentially replace members of your team, you are not in a romantic relationship that is inhibiting the next level of your career. Like if you are none of those people, I have no group issues or collaboration issues, then this message is not for you. This is the way that the cards came out. This is who it's for. Don't know who it's for. So if it's for you, please tell me in the chat. So I'm just going to jump in. I wanted to kind of give you that heads up at the beginning in case you get through this entire reading and you're like, this does not apply to me. So here's what's going on. Here's how I got this story. The first card, the what's going on right now card, is Dream a Beautiful Dream. What I really get is that where you're at right now is not meeting the level of beauty you want for your life. It's not that anything's even wrong. And that's what's making you kind of second guess and doubt yourself. But you're just having this feeling of like, okay, where I'm at right now is good. Everything's fine. Maybe it's stable, but it's not what I want. You are somebody who really like you romanticize life. You want a beautiful life. You don't just want it to be good. You don't just want it to be chill. You don't just want it to be stable. You want it to be beautiful. You want how you dress, how you look, how you feel, how you behave, how you create, how you relate to your community. Like you want it to feel whilst thou live deliciously. You want it to feel beautiful. And right now, you're not feeling it. You have this picture, you have this dream of what your life could be like. And right now is not hitting. And you're kind of like, well, maybe I'm being too impractical. Maybe I want too much. Like, it's not a worthy goal if it's just that I want it to be beautiful. What this card says is like, no, that's who you're meant to be. That's what you're meant to do. It really is important. You are a person who's meant to have this big dream for yourself and to pursue it. The other thing is like being able to find beauty everywhere, including in chaos, in hard things, in change. That's one of your gifts. And it's something you really need to call on right now because admitting that your current situation doesn't feel right for you, doesn't feel aligned anymore, it doesn't feel beautiful right now, that is hard and scary to admit. So allowing yourself to see the beauty, even in potential endings, is your charge in this moment. There is a situation in your life right now where you're feeling uncertain about your ability to fix or heal the situation. And I do think, based on the story I'm telling here, this is about the relationship, the partnership, the group, the job, right? Like you're like, I don't know if I can fix this. I don't know if this is salvageable. You currently don't have the inspiration to be able to imagine this situation differently than how it currently is. So you're like, I'm not going to be able to like find any constructive change or resolution here. But this card wants you to know that the beauty of this situation is not about you trying to fix this situation or make it right. It's not about how you control it. It's not about you making it the perfect picture you want it to be. You're not going to be able to muscle this into being what you want. The beauty of this situation is asking it to reveal itself to you, to accept what's true right now and be willing to see the beauty in exactly what's happening right now, the perfection of all things, even when things are difficult, even when they're not what you want them to be. When you expect there to be beauty in a situation, even if it's like really hard to grasp, then you're more open to seeing the potential, the healing, the growth possible in every situation, even the most sad, even the most challenging of situations. So don't try to force this relationship or this situation to take the right shape. And that's kind of what you've been stuck in is like there's this inner knowing that like, uh-oh, I might have to go and there's nothing even wrong. This person is great. This group is great. Everything is fine. It's just not what I want. It's just not for me. And you're like blaming yourself, shaming yourself. Maybe I can find a way to make it better. Maybe I can fix me. Maybe I can change how I'm showing up. Maybe I can da 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 da. Instead, just ask this situation to reveal its beauty to you. Just look at this situation and say, show me how this is beautiful. Show me how this current truth is for me. This is something happening for me. That's when you're going to start to really be able to grasp the genius in the situation. You're going to understand how perfect it really is for you at this time, just as it is. Even if what's being shown to you is it's time to go, how is that beautiful too? By opening up to the beauty within yourself and within all situations, that's when you open up to allowing change because we can only change the things we can accept as they are. We can't change something when we're wishing it could be different. We can't change something when we're denying that it's even happening. When we're trying to resist a situation, change slows down. And that's what creates suffering, right? Suffering is resisting reality. It's wishing that reality was different than what it is. You can overcome, bypass all of the resistance and denial when you just approach this situation with curiosity and an open heart. Show me how this is perfect for me right now. Show me how this is beautiful, even if it's sad, even if it's uncomfortable. You have the power to be a positive influence in whatever situation holds the most meaning for you right now. And you just have to remember that. It's not going to happen by you forcing it into what you want it to be, trying to change it, trying to force it to be right. The truth and the beauty of this situation is only going to come when you accept what is, when you start trying to see the beauty in the situation for what it is. Now, here's the block to the situation. The block is collaborative dreaming. So the thing is, you want to co-create with conscious, like-minded people, and you're being asked to honor that right now. So the story that I'm feeling here is the people you're with, the business partner, the relationship, the collaboration, the group, the people you're working with right now, they're fine. They're not fully like-minded people. They don't fully want what you want. They don't share the same vision for the future. And that's why it's not fitting. It's like, you're like, okay, if I stay here with them, we're not going to go where I want to go because we don't share the same vision. And you're being asked to honor that right now. What's really important is your heart wants to love and be loved. You want to work creatively with others as a way to grow. This is a chance for you to learn how to honor yourself and others and find a way to deepen your ability to collaborate and trust when you're working with others. But these might not be the right people, or this may not be the right person for you to be with long term. There can be rough patches that happen when you're doing creative work with other people, right? There could be big personalities, ego clashes, especially if you have different ways of working or you want different things. Sometimes big dreams require a little bit of fire to make them happen. This is an aspect of collaborative creative process, and you can learn something useful from that. Your guidance here is to embrace any experiences of friction or tension within yourself or within the group or within the partnership as you're working with someone else, to bring compassion, detachment, curiosity, tolerance for the discomfort of working with this other person and having somebody who's like, they don't want what I want. They want to do things differently. We're not seeing eye to eye creatively. Creative work in groups or with another person can bring up unresolved issues about being valued, being capable, being worthy. It can show us our trust issues. It can show us how much we allow other people to really help and support us, or if we're always like over giving and over functioning. It can trigger disputes about accountability, taking responsibility. It can trigger our insecurities about how being cast into unfamiliar rules or roles. It can bring up insecurities about being in leadership or having to follow, right? So when we're working creatively with other people, this is a mirror to how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about community, how we feel about support, how we show up when we're trying to co-create. So this can be happening for you right now, or it can be happening for the other person. It could be happening for everyone involved. The bigger the thing you're trying to create and the stronger the creative energy that's flowing, the more likely it is that people are going to be triggered. This is just the nature of creative energy moving in a lot of directions, right? Creative energy catalyzes everything that it comes into contact with to grow. And that includes people, right? It's not just the art or the project that's being created. It is also the artist. The creator is being created through the process of creating. So this could be smooth. Growth can be smooth, especially if everyone involved has a really high degree of emotional maturity. And like, even if we're disagreeing or we're not seeing eye to eye, we're not like having big fights. It's not contentious. But can still be some like rough sailing as we try to figure out like, how are we going to do this together? It doesn't mean that everything isn't working. It's just a sign that growth is happening and you're feeling growing pains. And the growing pains have to do with this growing understanding that you and the person or people you're working with are starting to grow in converging directions. You don't want to go the same place. And you might be beating yourself up for this a little bit right now. Again, this could be a job. It could be that you have a job and everything's going well, but you're like, I'm not meant to have a boss. I am meant to be the boss. I need to go out on my own. I need to do this for myself. It could be that you're working in a collaboration in community. Maybe you started a project as a group or a business as a partnership. And you're like, you know what? I thought I could go into this and do this as a group project, but actually I need to be the person in charge. But I have weird feelings about leadership. It could be that right, there's something here where like you're just realizing that like it's not that this is bad, but if I want what I ultimately want, my ultimate vision for my future, it's not going to be in this place with these people. It's not that these people are bad. We're just not headed the same place, or we don't want to do it the same way. I've had this in groups that I've worked with where I was really adamant that the business we were creating be a for-profit business, and they were really adamant that it be a non-profit business. And I ultimately was like, we don't want to create the same thing. So I've got to go off and decide if I want to do this by myself, or I have to like swallow what I want and do it the way the group wants. And here's a little thing you should know about me. I'm not a great collaborator. I kind of have to be in charge because if I feel like things aren't being done right, I freak out. So it's like, well, I have to just go and do it the way that I want to do it because I don't want to do it this other way. I think this is a bad decision, right? So that's something I know about myself. And it was a hard one because I want to believe that I'm a really collaborative person. And in some ways I am. But I also know that when it comes to my projects, I kind of need to be the boss. And I've accepted that about me. So that might be the journey you're on is like, oh, I want to be really easygoing. I want to go with the flow. I want to be working with other people. But I'm recognizing that like, I'm not bossy. I'm the boss. Like I need to be in charge because I actually have really good ideas and I have really clear ideas. It's not that my ideas are the best for everyone, but they are what I want, right? So there's something happening for you around the way you work with groups. It also might be, and we're going to get into this a little bit, that the mirror that's being shown to you right now is you entered into this group without enough boundaries. You're over giving, you're over functioning, and you've established a dynamic where you handle everything, but you don't get credit. Where you're the one who's like everyone's coming to you for everything. You're being given a lot of responsibility, but not authority. Or you feel like you're doing everybody's job, but you're still not in charge. So there may be something about you entered this with kind of leaky boundaries and over giving, and now you're in this resentful position where you've kind of martyred yourself. But there's something being shown to you right now about like for where you want to go, this relationship dynamic or this group dynamic is not for you. So the guidance of this oracle is that you need to stay in your integrity. You need to honor the truth of what you feel. You need to remember why you wanted to work with a group in the first place, especially if the group involvement has become complex or challenging. You need to call in the spirit of unconditional love. Unconditional love means the conditions are making it challenging to be loving. That's what unconditional love really is about. It's like I am being confronted with conditions that make it real hard to love. I'm mad. I'm scared. I feel scarce. I feel anxious. I feel righteous. I feel rejecting. Those are conditions that make it difficult to operate from love. You're being called in this moment to bring in the energy of love. Because the energy of love may be, I release all of us from this dynamic and I'm walking away. That might be the highest love, is to release us all from this challenging dynamic. To not make the other person wrong or to other people wrong, and to just say, you know what, the energy of love is to honor that we're all doing a really good job. We just want different things right now, or we're not headed there the same way. And the best thing I can do for all of us is remove myself. That is a very high spiritual experience that you're going through. You want to build something that is for the benefit of humanity. This is not selfish. It's not like you want to be the boss because like you're being selfish. It's not that you want to go off on your own because you're being selfish. This thing that you want to build, this future you have in your mind, it's for the benefit of humanity. It's for the benefit of all. it's going to help other people too. And so you're going to have to work with other people. I want to make this clear. It just might not be these people, and it might not be in this role. There's a learning taking place right now collectively on a spiritual level that requires highly individualistic, maybe even hyper individualistic creative people to learn how to work with other people without compromising who they are in order to reach a common creative goal. I want to be clear about, I want to say that again because Spirit was really clear. This is an Aquarius season message that makes a lot of sense for the energy of the water bearer. There is a communal learning that's happening right now where my highly individualistic people and my hyper creative people need to learn how to work together without compromising who they are in order to reach a creative common goal. Ahem, the failing project of the United States. If you are a hyper individualistic person, if you have a don't worry, I'll do it myself, I don't want to ask anyone for help, nobody ever does things up to my standards, I can't get people to help me the way I help others, all that has to be healed. You're gonna have to learn how to work with others without compromising your vision, right? So there is a big learning right now. You do have to be able to compromise and collaborate to reach a common goal. And again, it just might not be with these people. Someone just asked on Instagram, is there going to be a replay? Yes, there will be. It will be on the podcast. It's going to be on the YouTube. It'll be on my Instagram. This is staying up. So this is a wonderful, important, challenging thing to go through. You're going to need to have a strong sense of yourself in order to both be flexible, right? Like you need to know when to bend, but also when to hold your ground. What do I compromise on and what do I hold firm on? You're going to have to be able to intuit what is a heart-inspired sacrifice for the greater good of the project, and when do you need to stay true to your own voice for the greater good of the project. Only your heart can guide you on that. And others might not always agree with you, and you might not always agree with others. And that is the challenge of working with a group, working in community, working with a partner, right? There's that quote that like the cost of community is inconvenience. Sometimes working with other people is a little slower. It means that you have to adapt. It means that you have to open your mind to other people's perspectives. So that is part of the lesson you may be learning right now. And again, it may be that when you went into this group, you had red flags from the beginning about how they were doing stuff and you didn't stick to your guns enough. And now you've reached a relationship dynamic where like people don't take you seriously and you're just fed up. It could be that you didn't advocate for your boundaries enough in the beginning and now everybody's dumping everything on you and you've got to overwork, right? It could be that the other people don't take feedback well and they're blowing up every time you try to give feedback. So you keep backing down. There's something you're learning about working in collaboration or partnership right now that is showing you like, oh, this dynamic doesn't work. Now, I want to be really clear. This does not mean working with people doesn't work. My hyper individualistic people, it's really important for you to not take this situation and then turn around and go, see, I told you working with other people doesn't work. I've got to go do everything myself again. Don't take it to mean that. You might need to work on your boundaries. You might need to work on your communication. You might need to work on walking away faster when something isn't right for you versus letting things go on for too long. There's a lesson here for you about how you work in groups. You are not blameless. You co-created the current dynamic. You let it become this too. You either weren't standing up for yourself enough. Something happened here. So only your heart can guide you about how you're meant to be working in groups that's different than how you've been doing it. Part of the challenge that you have right now is to stay present so that you can really feel the friction that's coming up in this group situation and get honest about it. You're going to have to hear your own voice here. And this is going to keep coming up, right? Others may be able to hear your voice. They may not be able to receive it. But when you hear your own voice honestly, you're going to be able to connect with your heart, and your heart is going to tell you what to do. Only you know when it's right to stay in the group or in the relationship and when you need to withdraw in order to work with different people who may resonate better for you. Not every relationship, not every collaboration is for the long term. Sometimes learning experiences are going to be short, sharp, and painful before they turn into wisdom gained from experience. So this comes with particular guidance for you. This phase of your life path and your creative journey, you cannot be a lone wolf. You cannot. You have to work with other people to build the thing you want to build. So you can't walk away from this group and go, see, I have to do everything alone. You might walk away from this group and go, see, I need a different type of collaboration. I need to be the boss. I can't be 50-50 partners. I need to be 51-49 partners because I need the deciding say. I need to only be in groups with people who are really good communicators, who are really emotionally intelligent, who take feedback well. You've got to learn how to be in a group better from this, not shut down working in groups. Also, you could be in the group or in the relationship still operating like a lone wolf, right? You can be in a group and not be in a group. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to let other people in. You're not being really collaborative. You don't want to bend. So you're there, but you're the one who's inflexible. You're not letting people help you. You're not sharing the load, and that can cause problems. It could also just be that you're not in the right group. This is not the right relationship. So the work you want to do is big. You cannot do it alone. But if this is not the group, then you need to trust that there are the right people out there for you. They're just not where you are right now, and you got to go find them. Okay. Do not make anyone else's input or any group more powerful than the wisdom of your own heart. Do not go into martyr mode and just suffer because everyone else is happy and you're not happy. Are you making your decisions from loving internal authority or from a place of fear or control? Sit with your heart. Seek your heart's wisdom to discern whether your involvement in this group or this relationship is healthy for you long term or not. Sometimes a group can only receive so much of our energy before it's time to go and move on. Again, this could be a day job. It could be like everything's right. I'm getting paid well. They treat me really well here, but I'm not meant to be in this day job. I'm meant to go be full time in my business. I'm meant to be the boss. It could be I'm in a romantic relationship, and as long as I stay in this romantic relationship, I will not build the life of my dreams. I will not have the career I want, and I just have to go. I'm sacrificing what I want for the sake of my partner being happy. So there's something here about how we're working with somebody else that is, it's just time to go, and our heart is telling us that. Okay, so what is the gift that's going to come from you moving through that block, which is allowing yourself to recognize that it's time to go? The gift is going to come is called after the storm. So you're either in the storm right now or leaving this relationship is going to feel like a storm. Leaving this group is going to feel like a storm. But the guidance here is don't make the storm mean more than what it is. The storm could be this reckoning conversation about the group or the relationship, about how it's not working, about how you need to leave, about how you need to restructure things if you're going to stay. There's going to be upheaval. It's not going to be the most comfortable thing to do. You might have to literally move houses if this is a person you're living with. You might have a brick and mortar where you're like, I'm moving offices, right? Like it might not be comfortable to do. There may be upheaval, but you don't have to be afraid of a little storm. A storm is just nature's way of gathering a bunch of energy together and then flushing out what needs to be released. It is a short period. Storms don't last forever. Even when it happens that there's like a huge storm all at once and things flood, they always go back down. When there is a release, then there's a relief of tension. and freedom follows. After the release, there's going to be fresh perspective, a hopeful vision for your future. Once you've acknowledged this is what's true and you're like, okay, I had the tough conversation. I don't know if y'all have ever like gone through a breakup and felt relief, right? Where you're like, oh, I knew the conversation was going to be terrible. The conversation was terrible. But on the other side, like now I just feel relieved and I'm excited about the future again. And I'm excited about where I'm headed, right? Or you quit a job and you're like, oh, I was so scared to do it. And afterwards, all I felt was relief. Now I can really picture my future. Now suddenly where I didn't know what I was going to do, it feels wide open. So you might be really afraid of the upheaval, of the conflict, of the storm period. It might feel like there are all of these emotions building and they are threatening to erupt or they're already exploding and it feels like I can't control this. That's correct. You can't control a storm. The storm is going to storm. It might really feel like a mess right now. It might feel an uncomfortable amount of emotional. There might be a lot of psychological pressure. Allow the storm to happen, right? Just take your hands off. Stop trying to control it. I'm having this image of like, okay, rather than fussing about there's a huge storm outside and I'm trying to fight it and I'm trying to go out in the rain with my umbrella and my umbrella's bending and I'm getting soaked and I'm miserable, like be at home. The power's out, light the candles. Put out the hand crank radio out, like play the card games, play the board games, make the tea, get cozy. Okay, we are riding this out. This just is what it is. I might as well make the best of it rather than trying to control it or fight it. Sometimes you just have to go through the mess. So if you're trying to resist it, you're trying to hold it back, you're trying to like be passive aggressive, not have the conversation, hold it all in, right? You're building pressure, 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 pressure. Just say the thing that needs to be said. Just say what you need to say. There's going to be moments of peace beforehand. There's going to be moments of peace after, but the storm is going to storm and you can't stop that from happening. It's part of life. The release, the revitalization that comes after the storm is going to be great, but going through the storm might suck, but that is essential. It is a natural part of the creative process. It's a natural part of life. Without building and releasing energy, everything would be stagnant. The storm is wisdom. The blow up is wisdom. There's a gift of bringing everything to a head, clearing the things that don't serve you away so that the energy can be freed from this pattern that has, like, the pattern has had its day. The pattern is ready to go. The pattern is ready to become something new, but only if you allow the storm, the upheaval to happen. Sometimes this has been building for a long time without us even being fully aware of it, but it's still been building. Do not lose your confidence and your ability to ride it out, to bear the storm and get to the other side. This temporary period of upheaval, this temporary period of suck, it's not going to be forever. It's just for a little bit. It's just for right now. You will get to the other side of it. Even when there's chaos and change and moments of uncertainty, you need to keep trust in your heart. You need to remember this is going to pass. Nothing lasts forever. I don't need to be worried that this is just going to drag on forever. It's not. Nothing is permanent. That goes back to that first card about seeing the beauty in every situation rather than trying to control it. There can't be rainbows without a little rain. This is also confirmation that you've been praying for help. You've been praying for guidance on what to do. Your prayers have been heard, and the universe is responding to you and stepping in and shaking things up so that the situation can be sorted out according to greater wisdom, right? There's a way you wanted this to get solved. It's not how it's going to get solved. You wanted it to get solved with no bumps, with no bruises, with no difficulty. It's not going to get solved that way. You asked for it to be solved. It's getting solved the fastest way, right? Sometimes I feel like that's how source works for us. Like with our limited human perception, We're looking at a situation and going, this is good and this is bad. This is how I wanted it to go and this is not how I wanted it to go. But source can see way farther down the track than and we're like, source is like, please believe me, I'm taking these people out of your life because there's somebody so much better over here. You just can't see them yet. Let me do what I need to do. Let me get you there. The fastest way to your path, the fastest way to the thing that you want is for me to clear this shit out for you. So just trust that even if the circumstance is uncomfortable, that doesn't mean it's not for your highest good. You have to always hold on to that. So just let go. Hold on only to yourself. Allow everything else to be cleared out, to be cleansed in this storm. That is your charge. You already know what to do. That's how you deal with other people during this time. You listen to your inner discernment. You already know what's happening here. And it's not like a flash. It's just this soft, gentle knowing inside. You understand something without knowing exactly how or when you came to know it. This insight about what do I need to do with this partnership or this group? You know what to do. You know what needs to be done. That's what kicked this whole situation off. It's like one day you just woke up and you were like, oh, I can't stay here anymore. And that sucks. This isn't working for me. And there's nothing wrong. And I don't know why I feel like this. I just know it's wrong for me. You just see it for what it is. This knowing has come to assist you and you're being asked to listen to it. You know what is right for you right now. Your heart is telling you this inner knowing, this gut feeling that you keep having every day of like, oh, I gotta go. That's your heart telling you. You are being asked to rely on the clarity that is coming in now or has recently come. Gently but firmly from that place of inner knowing, it is time for you to act and take your next steps forward. This oracle, it talks about thinking about your long-term happiness. The situation right now, it is way bigger than the immediate situation, and you might not really understand that right now. It might not feel good, but in time, you're going to understand why this had to happen this way, why it was part of the bigger picture. Later on, you're going to understand why things are happening the way they are now and how this change, this upheaval, this ending was helping you on to the next stage of your path. It might look like an obstacle right now. Again, it might look like a storm right now. Your guidance right now is to think in terms of your long-term happiness. Again, this beautiful dream you have of what you want your life to be like. You're starting to know there's no way for me to get to my long-term vision if I stay with this person or these people. I just know it. And moving, changing this all up is gonna suck. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but that's how I get to my long-term happiness. That's how I deal with other people right now. With love, with compassion, I. Sometimes thinking about your long-term happiness warrants change, discomfort, discipline. 3D words we don't really, nope, those only two. Discomfort and discipline. The first one was a C word, but we don't like those words. I don't want discomfort. I don't want to be disciplined. I don't want to keep going back. But I don't want to stop myself from going back and forth, right? Sometimes we want to just be in that waffly energy. I don't want to have discipline with what I know. I don't want to discipline myself to stop reaching for the old familiar thing. But sometimes that's required. Sometimes temporary restrictions, sometimes temporary discomfort, temporary upheaval is required in the short term to get us to our long-term happiness. If you can't see how what's going on right now is going to be relevant in the future, is going to get you to what you want, if you don't see that right now, this is especially for you. You must be prepared to surrender to the process of change with absolute trust. You are being moved for a reason. This oracle's guidance is that the situations in your current life are actually geared toward a more significant manifestation that's coming according to your life path and your purpose. This is a preparation stage. You are building a foundation that's going to hold you strong and centered as your journey unfolds, as your life path becomes even bigger, even more brilliant, even more luminous. So yes, it's going to be uncomfortable in the short term. There's going to be some difficult conversations. There's going to be some tears. There might be some arguments. There's going to be some hard. Be patient. Trust your inner knowing. Know that everything that's happening right now is happening to bring you to your next stage of development, even if it's really uncomfortable. So, what is the message from your spirit guides right now? The message from your spirit guides right now is free from judgment, free to love. Again, this is another card that's about learning how to work with groups. It's about learning how to work with communities or causes and purposes that require your devotion. They require your energy and your belief in their value. This card is about mother energy. And it doesn't have to be about mothering a child. It doesn't have to only be for women. Could be mothering a project, birthing a business, mothering a community, mothering a creative vision, bringing something to life. Are you willing to be that like tigress in protection of the thing that you're trying to build? Are you willing to be so protective of the thing you want to build, so protective of your vision? Are you willing to be the nurturer, the support that this thing needs to lean on? Are you willing to give it all of the nurturing required to bring it to life and protect it as it grows? This is about the fact that in this life, you are being moved by compassion. You're genuinely trying to build something that helps people. So you're stepping into this role where you're going to be playing a bigger role, where you're going to be nurturing a community, where you're going to be stepping into stewarding something larger than yourself. And in order to do that, in order to be one of the people who's here to help create something big on the planet, you yourself have to open up to receive more nurturing. You have to open up to allow others to nurture you. So again, tying this into how I see this all fitting together with the message of this reading, this very specific situation I'm talking about, we're talking to, in the group you've been in, or the job you've been in, or the relationship you've been in, you have not been the leader. You have not been stepping out as, I'm going to go off on my own. Now, some of this might be because you don't believe that other people are going to support you. Now, in business, that could also look like you don't believe there's going to be enough money to support you, right? And I just want to be clear about that, because how does money come to us? It comes to us through people. It comes to us through customers. So if you're in this job because you don't believe your business can nurture you, you don't believe that your business can support you, so you're not going all in on leading and supporting it because deep down you don't really trust that customers are going to be there. You don't really believe that money is going to be there. You don't believe that the stability you get from this job, the stability you get from working in this group, that you can replace it yourself because you don't really trust people, right? That could be what's happening here. It could be that you've been working with groups because there's part of you that doesn't feel really grounded in your ability to be a leader, to be the one in charge, to be the one who goes out and makes things happen for you. And so you've been allowing yourself to play small, allowing yourself to hang out in this group project, in a collaboration, working with a business partner, somewhere where you're not out in front. And part of that is like, maybe you don't want to ask for help. And if you're the boss, you're going to have to ask people to help. You're going to have to hire people to help you. You don't believe that people are going to show up for you. You don't, right? There's something going on about you finally stepping into this role where you are the one who's leading, where you are like, you know what? The vision I have, the thing I want to create is important. It's important to the planet. It's important to humanity. It's important to me. It's important to my life purpose. I have to build this thing. And in order to do so, I've got to get over all of my issues about people. I've got to stop believing that customers aren't going to show up and pay me. I've got to stop believing that I'm not going to be able to hire people who are able to do the work that I need them to do. I've got to stop believing that I can't find collaborators. I've got to stop believing that I'm not responsible, that I'm not a leader, that nobody's going to nurture me the way I nurture other people. All of that has to be healed. That's the message from your spirit guides right now. All this stuff you have about how you work with other people has got to be healed in order for you to build your vision. That's going to make you feel vulnerable, especially if you're not used to working like this. Being seen, letting people see the full spectrum of your genius, letting people pay you, letting people support you, asking for the help you need. That's going to all feel vulnerable, especially if you're not used to doing it, but you don't need to worry. You need to get used to valuing yourself enough to know that needing support, affection, affirmation from others is important, not just for you to receive, but it's important for them to give. People feel good when they're giving. People feel good when they're supporting. People want to help. It feels good for them to give to you. So if you have guilt around receiving, if you have guilt around, like, I know people have told me like, oh, I feel weird selling because I feel like I'm asking people for money. That's not what selling is. You're not asking people for money. You're exchanging something valuable for something valuable. It's an even exchange. They want to pay for your good work. People want to support you the same way you support others. So if your tendency is that you burn yourself out, you take care of everyone else, but you never ask for help, you feel resentful and like withered inside because you go so hard for everybody else's stuff, but you don't go that hard for yourself. You've got to shift that pattern. You have to now allow others to support you. You have to be able to receive abundantly in order to give as much as you want to give. You have to be able to receive abundantly in order for you to be able to give as much as you want to give. You want to have a 7-figure business, but you feel weird about receiving money. How's that going to work? You want to impact the lives of 100 people, but you feel weird putting your message out there and letting people see you standing in your expertise. How's that going to work? If you want to give abundantly, you have to be able to receive in equal and opposite measure. That's just how that works. There's no way around it. So in order for you to reach your goal, have the beautiful life you want to have, make the impact on the planet you want to make, you have to be able to receive that much. And again, we have the message here that you've been asking for help with a specific difficulty, a specific challenge. You've been praying for a specific solution right now. This message is that the solution is in the works. The situation at hand, it's being sorted out. The resolution is coming to fruition right now. This is also a confirmation. If you are specifically someone who works, like you do inner work, you work with actual children, you do inner child work, you do any kind of like art therapy, energy healing, emotional healing, you're an artist, like creative expression work, spiritual work, anything that's designed to dislodge social conditioning, to open people up, to help people have a more authentic, spontaneous, healthy existence, that's what you're meant to do. You are supported in that work. You're supposed to be doing that. You are meant to be doing this work on a large scale, but in order to do so, you have to allow yourself to be supported on that same scale. You have to learn how to love in a different way. If you are able to love others tremendously, you show up for them, you give to them, you pour into other people, but then you don't really allow other people to get close to you. You don't really let other people pour into you. That is the thing that you need to heal for you to move on to your next level right now. So you see how this story is all really coming together. You've been in a group, a partnership, or a relationship where you're working really hard, you're handling everything, you're pouring everything in, but you're not the boss. You're not in charge. You're not doing your own work. And really, you need to be the boss. You just need to be in charge of your own thing. And if you can't be the boss in this current project, you've got to go start your own thing. Maybe you've been hiding out in group work, hiding out in your day job, hiding out in partnerships and collaborations because you were not ready to see yourself as a leader, to step into a leadership role. But this has to end. It is time for you to step out into that leadership role. Yes, you need support, but you need to be front and center, building your vision, not doing all this work to support other people's visions, to make other people rich, not believing that you're not capable of creating stability, of creating wealth. of creating community. You are capable of all of those things as soon as you decide that you're ready to let people see you that way, that you're ready to see yourself that way, and you're ready to allow yourself to be supported. This card's advice is go reconnect with nature. You've got to remember that you are connected to all living things. Everything in nature is an ecosystem of mutually beneficial support, right? The leaves fall from the trees. The leaves decompose and nurture the soil that helps grow the trees. The trees drop their roots into the earth, and then mycelium networks, they all connect underneath and they help the trees communicate with each other. And the tree roots grow the mushrooms and the mushrooms feed the trees, right? Like everything, it's a mutually beneficial ecosystem of support. It's not one thing draining all of the resources and not letting anything else help it. You need to be part of a mutually beneficial ecosystem of support. It cannot be a situation where you're like, everyone is worthy of love and support except me. That's not how that's going to work. Reconnect with nature. Remember that you are part of that ecosystem. I know this is a long reading, but this is just how it came out. The final message on how to bring all of this together is listening for truth. You're being asked to listen for the truth beneath the words rather than the superficial message of words themselves. This is especially true for the communication of those around you right now. If you are really listening, you're going to hear fear, scarcity in the words and the actions of those around you, either the people you're working with. So what may be going on, right, is like, if this is a collaboration, and I've seen this happen with business partners, I've worked with people like this. There's one partner that wants to make decisions about where we want to go. There's another partner who wants to make decisions from fear that things won't work, who's operating from scarcity. All of the decisions they want to make are about keeping things safe, but you want to make things go bigger, right? So there's something about, if you're really listening, you're going to hear the fear and the scarcity in the words and the actions of the people you're working with. You're going to hear their true motives. You're going to hear what's going on for them underneath the surface. You are hearing something that's not being said. And this is a confirmation that what you're hearing is truthful. You're hearing your own inner voice right now saying, this isn't going to work for me. You might feel like you're the only one who's really hearing and seeing the mismatch. So you also maybe have been in a situation or in this relationship, in this group, where the truth is being denied. So you're like, hey, is everyone seeing that this isn't working? And everyone's like, no, we don't see it. And you feel crazy. It might also be that you're fearful that when this truth comes out, that this just isn't working anymore, it's going to hurt other people and it's going to hurt you rather than free you and heal you. So your personal healing, not being afraid of the truth, is what's required here. Either way, right now, it is a time to let go of old wounds in favor of a greater sense of self-love and self-acceptance, who you're meant to be, what you're meant to do, what your life is supposed to be. You're being asked to honor yourself enough, to love yourself enough, to honor your truth, even if you feel like you're the only one who hears it. Even if there are people around you who are afraid of the truth, you cannot turn away from it. Don't resent it. It might be your job to show that truth, even when other people want to hide from it. What other people do with that information is their choice, but you are not meant to deny the truth once you've seen it. You're not meant to quiet it down to make other people comfortable. You're kind of meant to be an agitator at times, even if people don't necessarily like it. If you're the one who says this group dynamic isn't working, and I think we've both felt it for a long time, and we're just not saying it, and it's time for this to end, that people might not like that. I'm not saying tell people off. Don't be mean. You can have compassion in the way that you share the truth. Again, that energy of unconditional love. Maybe the best thing to say is like, everyone here is great, but this is not for me. It's not about being harsh with other people. It's about having clear insight that allows you to loosen those knots that are binding you simply by knowing exactly what thread needs to be tugged on. Also, and again, this is really specific. If the issue with this group or the job you're in or the relationship you're in is that there has been lying, there has been gossip or backstabbing, people talking about you, someone being dishonest with you, your guidance here is that you're right. That is happening, and not to worry about it, which I know is easier said than done. But I'm just getting this feeling of like sometimes when we have this sinking feeling that there's a lie being told or someone's talking about us or we're not being given the whole truth, we don't trust ourselves and we feel like we have to go find proof and like confront the other person with proof or receipts. You don't have to do that. You can just trust that you're right. If you feel like that, it's true. Just walk. Don't try to expose it. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to control the narrative. Don't try to get receipts. Just be like, I just know that there's dishonesty happening here in some way, and I've got to go. I have to remove myself. I don't need to find proof because what's done in the dark will always come to light. The truth is going to be revealed. You don't even need to do anything. We again get the message in this card, go reconnect with nature. Just be like, you know what? Let me go sit at the ocean and remember that my biggest problems are very, very small. Let me go sit out in the desert under the stars and remember that I am a tiny speck of dust on a rock floating in space. None of this shit matters. Talk about me all you want. Talk about me with links that point back to my page. Just, get me the traffic. The truth is going to be revealed. Act on the truth that you know. Speak the truth you know. Honor the truth that you know to be true and keep it push. Okay. Very, very last card, our shadow for the season. The shadow for the season is movement. Right now, you don't want to move. You want to stay where you are. You want to stay in this situation. You want to keep everything stable and tidy. You don't want the upheaval. You got to move. Now, this is also about physical movement. Your body holds the keys to the truth that you need to tap into. There's some kind of physical movement you need right now that's going to help you both hear and understand your inner truth to process it, but also give you the strength and the bravery required for what you need to do. So, like intense, vigorous movement can help you find motivation, power, fire. If you need to feel strong, maybe you need to be lifting weights for strength. You need to be going like high weight, low reps. Show yourself how strong you really are. Slow, smooth, methodical, snaky movements that can help you tap into your deeper feelings. That can be really helpful in releasing and inner healing work. You might need to be throwing that ass, getting that sacral in motion. When your body is in motion, you can allow any stuck or stagnant energy to flow. You can create space for what's new. So movement is really needed for you physically right now. I'm just getting the feeling that some of you, like this truth that you're tapping into is so overwhelming that it might be putting you into a little bit of a freeze state. You're literally physically shut down. I see you like laying on the couch. Don't do that. Get up and move your body. At the very least, go for walks every day where you can hear yourself think, not on your phone. Just like get out and be in nature and just be moving, because there may be physical movement required for your next level. You might need to move your office space, move away from a relationship, move out of your house, move to a different city, move away from your roommates. There might be physical movement required for you to step into this truth, to step into this next phase. And the guidance here is that's the shadow. That's the thing you don't want to do. You don't want to do the movement part, but that's what we need to do. Okay. That is our reading for Aquarius season. As I said, it was a really specific reading for a really specific group of people. So I'm really curious if this was for you. Please leave me a message in the comments and let me know that this was for you. If you're listening on the podcast, I'd love to hear from you. intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com. Let me know if this reading was for you. My last little thing that I wanted to share is I have 2 ways that you can work with me for quarter 1. If you want to make sure that you have this year on track, maybe you need some guidance and support around this change situation. You can book a one-off session. It's called a CEO Direction Intensive. It is a 90-minute intensive where we can sort through all of your competing priorities right now, figure out exactly what you need to do, and get you a 90-day to 6-month plan in place, all organized so you know exactly what to work on next to move towards your goals. The other is a CEO day, a VIP day, where we do 6 hours together to build something that needs to be built. So that can be, we're building you a course curriculum, we're building your annual sales calendar, your marketing plan for the year. We are creating the workable asset for your business that you've been needing to create for months or even years, the thing that you need to build, but you're just having trouble building it on your own. We come together for 6 hours and we build it together. It could be all of your back end SOPs so that you can hire a team. whatever it is that you need support with, where you're like, let's just sit down and get this thing built, we do that in a VIP day. So I will be putting the link for those in the show notes. If you're watching on Instagram, just DM me or comment direction intensive or VIP day, and I will DM you with all of the details. I can only take 3 of each of those sessions. So if you want one, go ahead and claim it now. All right. I would love to hear from you if this reading was for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your day, so many things you could be listening to, and it means so much that you are here in this community. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share it on social media, and tag me at Intuitive Edge Coaching. Share it with a biz bestie who you think needs to hear it and will appreciate it. And take a moment to to subscribe, and to leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It helps me grow this show, and it helps us grow and sustain this brilliant community of entrepreneurs dedicated to doing the inner work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, love you, bye.